This month, XRP is beginning to show signs of being on the verge of making a historic leap. It is my opinion that there is something that a significant number of you guys ought to be concerned about and keeping an eye out for. However, in the video that we are going to watch today, we are going to discuss everything from the good news to the bad news and everything in between. Here is the news. I have some pretty important things to share with you guys that I believe will really change your perspective on the current condition of the market and what is likely to happen here within the next couple of weeks based on the information that we all have available. Therefore, make sure that you stay tuned until the very end because I have some things to inform you about that will really change your perspective. In order to get things started, I would want to play this video clip that was created by none other than the CEO of Robinhood. He is making some pretty significant movements and I find this to be quite cool. Now pay attention. As one of the few people who has a basic understanding of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I am still having trouble wrapping my brain around the token idea. I would want to thank you for taking the time to do so, and I would also like to offer my congrats on the wonderful event and everything that you have just revealed. However, I would like to know if you could clarify what tokens are and why this is so different from the way that the system operates at the moment. It's true. In a nutshell, I believe that there are two perspectives on cryptocurrency. As a trading asset such as stocks, options or futures being one of the options. The other is a basic technology that in my opinion will be the foundation upon which the whole financial services business will be built in the space of a few years. With regard to this latter view, I believe it to be more intriguing. And what we have showed here is the possibility to place real-world assets on a blockchain, make them marketable in the same way that the cryptocurrencies you mentioned, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are, and take use of all the benefits that blockchain technology has to offer. Therefore, from a practical point of view, these are stock tokens of public firms such as Nvidia and Amazon, together with a great number of other corporations which are going to be available in Europe. Furthermore, we are able to demonstrate that we are capable of tokenizing private firms. In light of this, we distributed equity tokens to our clients, in addition to giving away OpenAI and SpaceX private partnerships. In addition, I feel that it is extremely remarkable, and I believe that it will make it simpler for people who are located in other parts of the world to invest in American businesses. In addition to this, it will move the markets into the 24-hour period and fully on-chain, allowing them to reap all of the benefits that crypto technology bestows upon traditional assets. As a result, I believe that it is time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins and into assets that are based in the real world and have intrinsic usefulness. Exactly. Therefore, I believe that a lot of the arguments that he is making are quite valid, and I do agree with a lot of what he is speaking about. It is my belief that you are aware that we need to take a look at cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, I am referring to what we really announced in the European Union. What we really need to look at here is cryptocurrencies, which are cryptocurrencies that actually bring real-world benefit, truly improve the world, and actually make people's lives simpler. It seems to me that they are the ones that we ought to be concentrating on. Is that correct? Additionally, the truth of the issue is that meme coins do not behave in such a manner. Bitcoin is not capable of achieving that since it is nothing more than a cultural phenomenon. It is thus necessary for you to begin investigating alternative cryptocurrencies that really address issues that are prevalent in the real world, improve the quality of life for individuals, and of course offer some type of usefulness that in essence propels civilization and society ahead. Furthermore, it is worth noting that there are other cryptocurrencies that perform this function in a variety of distinct capacities. Aside from that, I do believe that this is quite significant information. Now, I will remark that the host of the news show is completely clueless about what tokens are and the distinction between a cryptocurrency and a token. For example, I am not aware of the difference between a token and a cryptocurrency. In addition, I do not believe that the CEO of Robinhood is aware of this, but I believe that one day it will be brought to the forefront of people's thoughts. For the benefit of those of you who are watching this and are unaware of the concept, a token is a project that is constructed on top of an existing blockchain that is used for Bitcoin transactions. The cryptographic solution is in essence the layer 1 solution, as you probably already know. On the other hand, the token layer 2 is, the cryptocurrency layer 1. So Ethereum is a cryptocurrency, and Shiba Inu is a token, for those of you who might not have been aware of the distinction between the two technologies. In light of the aforementioned, it is worth noting that the Dutch bank, which is the largest bank in Germany, is planning to introduce cryptocurrency custody services in the year 2026. In light of the fact that the CEO of Robinhood is planning to introduce tokenized equities on the blockchain and that banks are also going to launch crypto custody services across Europe, I would like to bring attention to this particular instance. A great many of individuals did not anticipate this happening. A great number of individuals did not believe that Europe would be the first to the punch when it comes to the safekeeping of cryptocurrencies. A great number of individuals were under the impression that this would most certainly be the United States of America. However, we do not yet have a precise timetable for the implementation of crypto custody services in the United States of America. What I mean is that there are a lot of people discussing it these days. Even while we are aware that a number of financial institutions are developing their very own stable currencies and blockchain services, this is still news to us, right? As of the year 2026, Europe has a fixed date. It is going to be Germany that is doing it. It is completely and utterly ridiculous. The economy of that country is currently the largest in all of Europe. Wow, this is just excellent material. Additionally, we have seen that Bloomberg is increasing the possibilities of approval for spot XRP, Sol and Litecoin exchange-traded funds to 95%. Gentlemen, now listen. I don't know if it's going to happen this month, the month after that, or the month after that, but regardless, if this does happen at any point, anytime within this year, and we also have, of course, on-chain stocks on the crypto blockchains, and then we have stocks like American stocks, European stocks, and Chinese stocks all trading around the clock, all being powered by blockchain and all using blockchain for gas fees. Then we have, on-chain stocks. The volume of Bitcoin transactions is expected to skyrocket as a result of this extraordinary event. This is going to be unfathomable. To put it another way, when we consider the stock market, exchange-traded funds, ETFs, and everything else, we are talking about billions of dollars. In addition, I believe that this is going to cause an incredible frenzy, particularly if any banks in any European nation, China, the United States of America, or Canada begin offering crypto custody services at any point during this year or at the beginning of the next year period. This is going to be an extraordinary explosive event, that much is certain. In addition, I believe that Germany is establishing itself as the greatest economy in Europe under the president. Okay, that's some really impressive stuff. In addition to all of that, I am aware that the wonderful news that is being reported today is that it simply continues on rolling, isn't it? In addition to all that I just shared with you guys, the chair of the Federal Reserve, Powell, who is the person you are currently observing, has stated that a significant majority of the Federal Reserve anticipates rate reduction later on in this year. Do you agree? They basically vote on whether or not to reduce interest rates and how much they will be. Right. If you don't know how it works, the Federal Reserve, everyone who works there, they vote on whether or not to reduce interest rates. Therefore, if a significant majority of the Federal Reserve anticipates that interest rates will be lowered, then rates will almost certainly be lowered, right? So, this is a wonderful thing. In essence, we have a guarantee that there will be a reduction in interest rates at some point during this year. That is simply absolutely fantastic. Given that Powell has stated that he is unable to provide a definitive answer about whether or not July is an appropriate time to consider lowering interest rates, it is still unknown when exactly that will occur. In spite of the fact that he is refusing to comment on it, there is a possibility. The chance exists that interest rate reductions will take place this month at the same time as tokenized equities and all of these other significant improvements that we are discussing. Isn't that correct? It's getting to the point where it's quite insane. On the other hand, I would like to create something that is really obvious as well. Moreover, there are headwinds that are highly worrying. Is that okay? And I believe that the one that is the most noteworthy is the one that is between Trump and Musk. In a situation that I'll simply refer to as a disagreement, Elon Musk is highly critical of President Trump's large spending bill, and President Trump is quite critical of Elon Musk's government subsidies. Both of them are kind of just going at it with each other. Now, there are others who believe that Musk is only attempting to save his businesses, and there are further individuals who believe that Trump is, truly doing a wonderful job with this massive and lovely spending plan. There are other viewpoints that fall somewhere in the middle. However, regardless of what you think in this situation and who you choose to support, the most important thing to keep in mind is that this has, in the past, caused a great deal of damage to the market when they were engaged in their prior conflict, isn't that right? And after that they reconciled, and after that everything was back to normal, but now it's occurring once more right now. Regardless of whether you believe that this is only for show or not, I believe that it is still important to be aware of it since, as we have seen in the past, it has an effect on the price of digital assets, equities, and pretty much everything.